We're in session at our pre-trial conference plea docket. The first case is Kevin Rollins. We have Mr. Rollins appearing via Zoom. Mr. Rollins, you could take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how you doing, Mr. Rollins?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Rollins, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Padgett. And Mr. Padgett is present in the courtroom. Mr. Padgett, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good. Mr. Padgett, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Rollins' case?
Your Honor, we have applied for Veterans Court on this case. I've emailed Ms. Martino.
Okay.
Filled out all the proper paperwork, and I maybe
Mr. Porter.
I've confirmed that she's received the email.
Okay.
Filled out all the proper paperwork.
Okay. Okay. Now, the signing date, is that the same date of like the pre-trial divergent signing date?
I'm not sure how they do the veterans. Because I applied for it several months back.
I know there was a backup because starting few years ago that they weren't able to. So I imagine she started back up.
How much time do you think you need? Do we, you want to reset it to next year? I mean,
Whatever pleases the court. I mean, I'll send another.
because I know
email.
they're
Send
a pre-trial conference, I mean, pre-trial, like every other month. I don't know how they do the, yeah. Give us a, which one? January 3rd? Okay. Okay, this case is going to be reset January 3rd. Mr. Rollins, your case has been reset January 3rd of 2022. Your attorney will be given a copy of the reset. You're free to go. This will complete your case and you have the test date. Your attorney will be given a copy of your reset. Stay in contact with the attorney in your bond.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And Mr. Patrick, would you please just sign the reset?
Your Honor, I'm sorry. That's all you need from me?
Yes. Next case is call number 326274. Case is style of State of Texas versus Tyrod Lazay Williams. We have Mr. Williams appearing via Zoom. Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Williams, you're represented here by your attorney, James Padgett. Mr. Padgett, you have an announcement?
I do, Your Honor. This is going to go on your plea docket. We've worked the case out. I've received all the discovery. And all I need to do is just relay one piece of information to my client. So if you just put it on your next plea docket, it'll be
Okay.
disclosed.
Could you give us a plea date?
That's fine. We'll do whatever you say.
Okay, so this case is being reset to January 3rd of 2022. Mr. Williams, your case has been reset to January 3rd of 2022. Stay in contact with your attorney. And this will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Man, shit. God damn.
We're in session in cause number 327664, case of style of state of Texas versus Jacoby Gordon Moore.
Well, if you could hold on that, we're working that case out.
Okay.
It'll be disposed of this morning.
Okay.
Go ahead and have a seat.
Okay,
I just need to get paperwork filed on it.
okay. Next case is cause number 328600, state of Texas versus Stad Emery Lloyd.
Keep holding this. Daniel, this is one I've applied for pretrial on. I don't know whether you have a note.
This is cause number 328600, case of style of state of Texas versus Stad Emery Lloyd. Is that your full name, Mr. Lloyd? How you doing, Mr. Lloyd?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Rex. Mr. Lloyd, you represented here by your attorney, James Padgett. Mr. Padgett, you have an announcement?
Your Honor, we've applied for pretrial diversion on this case, and again, I'm not sure if there's some holdup on their end, but I have, I applied for it about 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And I have not got a denial or,
Okay, well, we're gonna reset it till that February.
I'm just wondering if, because if he has a denial letter
No,
or something
February,
that
has
I
to be in
don't know
January.
about.
No, and I've been informed by both Pat and Ashley that they will contact the defense attorneys and let them know whether they've been.
Well, they send us a letter. We get a letter from the DA's
And
office.
so that was my understanding, because I've asked them on that to make sure that.
Yeah, because I think the next sign-up date is first Thursday in December, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So the one after that is gonna be the first Thursday in February.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna set it the second Thursday in February. They probably full. Usually around, you think they full?
I believe, I know they.
Well, let's
they're
put them in
full for
December. They full for December?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm pretty sure they were full for December as well. I think they were
Yeah, just put in
starting-
February, second week of February.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because if he did have a note, in his file that
And there's
he
no
was
notes in our-
denied,
Yeah, there's
then
no
we'll
notes.
dispose of it by another method.
Okay,
But of course, if we can get him into the program, that's what
Right.
he would like to do.
what day is that? Okay, it's gonna be reset to February 14th, 2022. Mr. Patty, you can get your, sign the reset. And Mr. Lloyd, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. He's gonna sign a reset.
Just have a seat right outside. I'll bring you paperwork. That's normal. So maybe they're running a little bit behind on this.
Get, Todd Ross. Todd Ross. Well, don't worry. No, look at this here. I'm gonna stay on the, put on,
So he has another, one,
which one is that?
LeBlanc, on page 1, pretrial. Mark LeBlanc.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mark LeBlanc.
If we could hold on Mr. Ross as well, I'm trying to work
Okay,
the case out.
what about LeBlanc? Okay,
LeBlanc, we're gonna need to hold on as well.
hold too? Okay,
The only one, I do have another lady that should be on Zoom, Ms. Jenkins. The only one we need to address is Ms. Jenkins right now, who's on Zoom.
Okay,
And then the other three I'm trying to work out.
hold on a minute. Ms. Jenkins.
Ashley Jenkins.
Okay. Okay, what's your announcement on Ms. Jenkins?
We've applied for pretrial diversion on Ms. Jenkins as well, and again, for some reason I have not received an acceptance letter or a denial,
Okay,
which normally I would get.
okay.
Ashley Jenkins.
She's on the trial docket on
She's on the
page
trial docket.
3, the second person.
We just received some.
Ms.
information.
And Ms. Jenkins is on Zoom. Ms. Jenkins, you could take your mic off of mute. How you doing, Ms. Jenkins?
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing fine. And this is cause number 326-430.
And again, I'd like to check to see if he has the letter in his file, because normally they just mail it right to my office,
Mhm.
the acceptance or the denial.
Just put it out.
And
Let's
I
put this one
applied
in.
the same time about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I
He just
understand.
applied for
I mean, I just
pretrial
wanna make
diversion.
Sure, because I don't want to waste the time coming back if she's denied.
You gonna keep it on the trial docket or?
Whatever pleases the court. Like I said, we just received information that made her eligible for pretrial, so that's why I applied 3 weeks ago.
Okay, just give us a date.
Whatever,
After
whatever
the,
the best docket for you is, just so you know what we've done and what our intentions are.
I can take off the trial, put it on a free trial for the 214.
214,
That's fine.
okay. Ms. Jenkins' case has been reset to February 14, 2022. Stay in contact with your attorney. This will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
I'll call you.
Thank you, you too. Okay.
Yeah, just get to sign and
Yeah,
reset.
that'll be it for me.
Okay. We in session in cause number 327-670, cause number 327-866. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Sinclair Martha Smith. We have Ms. Smith appearing via Zoom. Ms. Smith, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Ms. Smith, here represented by your attorney, Mr. Mel Shalander, who's also appearing via Zoom. Mr. Shalander, how are you doing?
For Monday morning, I'm okay, Judge.
Well, that's good. Mr. Shalander, you have an announcement?
Judge, we were scheduled for a plea today. She flew in or drove in from Wisconsin. She's stuck in Houston right now and
Oh.
can't get here. We're wondering if we could do this maybe tomorrow afternoon or something.
That'll be fine. Yeah. We'll just reset it for tomorrow.
What
Okay,
time?
would it be the same time in the morning?
Would,
can't-
y'all want to do it in the morning or the afternoon?
Afternoon, Judge.
Okay, let's say 1:30.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we reset it for tomorrow for a plea at 1:30.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Shalander, you're free to go, and Ms. Smith, you're free to go as well. And y'all have a blessed day. See y'all tomorrow.
Thank you.
You too.
Okay, you're welcome. Caleb Nix, please come forward. We in session in cause numbers 320504 and cause number 320506. Both cases are solid state of Texas versus, is that Caleb?
Yes, sir.
Caleb Mickey,
McKee.
McKee Nix. How you doing, Mr. Nix?
Good, thank you for asking.
Okay, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Nix, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Your Honor.
That's good. Mr. Macon, you have an announcement you'd
I
like to
do,
make?
Your Honor. We're going to plead Mr. Nix here in just a little while when I
Oh.
get finished and everything. In fact, all four of my people on your pretrial are going to be pleased.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. All right, y'all just have a seat. You go work on your pleas.
Okay, I'll keep doing that, Your Honor.
Okay, you're welcome. I think that's it. Okay.
Your Honor,
Is
I
it-
have a dismissal on Jose Esparza. He's on the trial docket.
Esparza? Okay. Just kidding. Mr. Paget, I just signed the dismissal on Jose Luis Esparza.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. That's what Mr. Boyd was just telling me.
Must be on. It must be another thing. Oh, there he is. Asa Jones, is Asa Jones present? Mr. Porter? Oh, he has, I see that he is set today.
Yes, sir.
He might be in criminal district court. I see he has, he's supposed to be in criminal district court today. So we're gonna hold on that. We just need to find out what they're gonna do with the case, if they're gonna reset it, plea it, or whatever. Or it's set for trial. Oh, okay, that one's set for trial.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, I think they won't know that probably till this afternoon, huh? I think he does this. Okay,
Am I free to go?
well, that's the only case?
That's all.
Yeah, yeah, you're free to go. I don't know if Mr., let's see, you represent him on the, no, Mr. Nix represent him on the felony.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah, you're free to go. We're just waiting to see if he's gonna show up. Let us know what's happening on his felony, if he's going to trial or not. If not, if he's not going to trial, you want to reset on the same date of the felony?
Really, it would be better if we can get it a day after the felony.
Okay, we won't know that until this afternoon.
Okay, that's fine. That way.
Okay.
So have your office call me after Dr. Services.
This is cause number 329772, case is filed in the state of Texas versus Byron Christopher McCarty. We have Mr. McCarty appearing in person. His attorney, Mr. John Macy, is appearing via Zoom. Mr. McCarty, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Now, Mr. McCarty, you're represented by Attorney John Macy. Attorney Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. McCarty, you had a felony case that was set today, is that correct? And what happened on your felony case? They reset it for trial? Mr. Macy, did you hear that?
I did, Your Honor.
When do you want this case to be reset? Do you want it to reset on the same day of the felony or a different date?
Same date's fine, Judge.
Okay, did they give you a reset? No. You can get at what date is that? Oh, March 28th. Yeah. Okay, what is it set for trial? Okay, that's his trial date. Okay, step over there in front of the court coordinator on the end. She's gonna give you a reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Your Honor, I didn't hear that day.
It's March 28th, 2022. That's the date of his trial on the felony.
March 28th. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, yeah, you'll be sent a copy of the reset. Now, Mr. Macy, is this your only case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. Same to you.
All right, thank you. Stephen Smith. Oh, he's in jail. Smith. Must be on this here. Bailey. Okay, Parker. We're in session in cause number 3268858, case of style of state of Texas versus Bryce Jadale Posey. Please come forward. Your full name is Bryce Jadale Posey?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Posey? That's good. Now, Mr. Posey, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Alan Parker.
Correct.
Mr. Parker, how are you doing?
Good, Judge, thank you.
That's good. Do you have the paperwork ready on the post?
I'm filling out a dismissal right now. Judge is gonna be a forfeiture for dismissal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, I just did the dismissal.
Okay. There it is. Oh, it is. This is cause number 326858, case of style, the state of Texas versus Bryce Jadale Posey. Mr. Posey, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Posey, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? You may put your hand down. Mr. Posey, you're here, as I stated earlier, represented by your attorney, Mr. Alan Parker. Mr. Parker, do you waive a record in Mr. Posey's case?
Yes.
Mr. Posey, I have before me in cause number 326858, a motion to forfeit. And Mr. Posey, do you recognize this motion?
Yes.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Posey, prior to signing this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in this document?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Posey, I will grant the state's motion to forfeit the weapon in cause number 326585. There's the 25th. And Mr. Posey, I'm signing the dismissal. Once I sign the dismissal, it's going to print off and you'll be able to get a copy of it from your attorney. And once you get the copy of the dismissal, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Parker. Where's Mr. Sir. That's Calmore. Dowden. In session in cause number 322381, State of Texas versus Brandon T. Spencer. Good morning. Would you please see if Mr. Spencer is Brandon?
We
Okay.
have an agreement with the state. He's to short the money on the payment.
If you need more time, okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
It's gonna be JP reduction. He's got about half right now, and
It's gonna be a JP?
yes, sir.
Okay, how much time do you need to get the rest of the money?
I get paid this Friday.
So we'll have, how long?
So reset 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay,
And that way he can take care of it and then bring me the receipt and then bring it up and probably don't have to come back to work if that's the case.
okay. So this case is to be dismissed upon the payment of restitution, or take care of the JP reduction. Give us a 2-week reset.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Yes, Brandon Spencer. Is this your only case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Bailey, would you please get Colton Goodman?
Yes, sir, he's got,
Is he here? We're in session in cause number 324-644 and cause number 324-648. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Colton Ray Goodman. How are you doing, Mr. Goodman? That's good. Now, Mr. Goodman, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. David Grove. Mr. Grove, how are you doing?
good, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. Grove, what is your announcement?
Both of these cases were on the trial docket, and I think continuing them on the trial docket.
Okay. Okay, so. Yeah. Okay, 2/7/22, you get your reset and you'll be free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Galmore is in orange. Macon. Paget. Let's see, Smith, Provo. Oh, he's in jail. That's a, Mr. Bruce Smith. I see we have a, on the announcement docket, we have a gentleman by the name of Zachariah Atterbury, but he's presently incarcerated. And it seems like he's set tomorrow in drug court.
Right.
And okay, so you represent him on that one too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so on this case, should you want this case set with your felony case?
Yes, sir.
When it's reset, we won't know until tomorrow.
That's correct.
Okay, okay. That's the one, that's on Atterbury?
You want your office to comment tomorrow, Mr. Smith? You want, your office to call me to tell me the felony?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I'll set it with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Two other cases on the trial.
I think I corrected that. You sent a motion over here. You said they got you tied up in Judge Stevens.
Especially said on that.
Right, right.
long
I
trial.
think, didn't I sign those?
One of-
Yeah,
one
Okay.
of you did, sign one.
yeah,
I'll take care of it and I'll send it.
yeah. Announcement, that's on the trial docket, right?
There is some, but it's just running.
We just have to make some copies. Yeah. Oh, Kevin Lane, okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Kenneth Marquise,
He's present, Your Honor.
Mr. Marquise, would you come forward? We're in session at cause number 328297. Case is style of State of Texas versus Kenneth Lee Marquise. We have Mr. Kenneth Lee Marquise present in court with his attorney, Mr. Kevin Lane. Mr. Marquise, how are you doing?
Good.
Mr. Lane, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lane, what is your announcement in Mr. Marquise case?
Well, Your Honor, we've gotten an offer. We've received all the evidence and reviewed it. And we're wanting a jury trial on this.
Okay. Yeah, we currently have a trial. We're in the trial right
You
now.
are, okay.
Right, but go ahead on and reset. Well, she's gonna give you a trial date. Once you get your trial date from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Lane, is this your only case?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, you'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day. Just stand over and get your sign your reset. Is Sydney West present? That's Ms. Provo. I think he has a felony case set today as well. Oh, it's at 1. Oh, it's set for trial. I see that. Yes.
I talked to Mr. Nathan, he said the felony attorney.
Yes.
Felony attorney be reset again.
Okay. So, okay, he's, where's Mr. Macon? Okay, let me do this. Let me get Mr. Macon, when he comes back in. You can have a seat, okay. Okay, Mr. Trial. Raleigh Bailey Parker. Your thought. Mr. Bailiff, would you please get Benjamin Martinez?
I can grab him, Judge.
Okay.
He's present.
That's Benjamin Martinez.
Yes, Judge.
Your full name is Benjamin Michael Martinez?
Correct.
How are you doing, Mr. Martinez?
Pretty good, Your Honor. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Martinez. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Jared Gilthorpe. Mr. Gilthorpe, how are you doing?
Doing well.
That's good. Mr. Gilthorpe, what is your announcement on Mr. Martinez's case?
Judge, I'm ready on that case, and I also this is the case, I have a speedy trial motion pending on that one as well.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay. I thought we had got one from Galmore. I thought it was. We'll have to take a look at that.
He might have another one, I don't know, but.
I maybe I just saw y'all
It's the same
firm.
letterhead.
Yeah, maybe I saw the firm. I thought it was from Galmore. So I
Yeah, this-
saw one a few months ago. It was filed, right?
This was filed a little while back,
Right.
but yes, we're ready, and we'd like to trial.
State, what's your announcement on that?
Judge, the state would request a continuance on that case. This is its first appearance on the CC2 docket. It was moved from
County Court Law 3?
CC3.
It was the county court three.
Additionally, Judge, there are 3 pending felonies that were a result of this misdemeanor being filed. And so the state would just request more time in order to preserve its case and make sure that everything is.
I may have to take a look at that.
Because the felonies are not related to this case. In other words, the incidents are unrelated, they're not the same allegations.
Okay, yes.
And this case has been pending for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it was next
It was
door
over
for
there.
some reason.
That's correct, Judge. And I informed the DA's office last week or week before that, this was a case that we could not agree to a continuance on. So we made them aware that it was a case that we needed to move. And I
Okay, well, let me,
know about our speedy trial motion, just to make sure there weren't any surprises when we got here.
yeah, okay, I'll just hold on that.
Okay.
Okay. Who else? Okay, just working on that. Dole. Reset. Making us working on that. Freeman. Did Mr. Was that as far, that was this what as far as the dismiss?
The one you signed the dismissal.
Okay, okay,
Mr. Boyd's case.
okay. I saw your name and I looked over and I saw,
It's okay. When you signed it, you made me aware.
yeah, okay. And you just holding on your other cases?
Well, let me find out, 2 out of the 3 are going to have to be set. One's on the trial docket right now.
Okay, now,
Gilmore's on the trial docket.
okay, what about Ross?
Ross, I'm still trying to work.
Okay.
I have a new offer. I'm about to walk out and take it.
Okay,
If we could, I have a Mark LeBlanc and Heather Gilmore.
LeBlanc's on the-
LeBlanc's on your pre-trial docket.
right.
And it's gonna have to go on your trial. And then Heather Gilmore's already on the trial.
Okay, could you call Mark LeBlanc?
Right here.
Got Mr. Allison. Okay, we in session in cause number 325-867, case of style of state of Texas versus Mark Anthony LeBlanc.
Yes.
Mr. LeBlanc, how are you doing?
Fine.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. LeBlanc. You represented here by your attorney, Mr. Paget. This case was,
It was transferred, Your
it was
Honor.
just transferred?
Yes, Your Honor. It was transferred from court 3.
Okay, could you see if we have bond conditions in this case? And it just came straight on the trial document?
Your Honor, like
I mean, a
said,
pre-trial
I didn't
conference.
get any notice of the reason. I just got a,
This is 325-867.
325-867, yeah.
No, there's no bond condition.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, could you give me,
Yes, it was moved straight from their trial dockets to our pre-trial docket.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
give me, I need
conditions.
a copy of some of those motions. Let me say it right here. I may need it again.
So standard procedure.
Yeah.
And the test results came back with no alcohol. Which he could probably, they could probably read probable cause to tell you the latter. Blood.
Thank you. I can see it on here. It's LeBlanc.
So on the second deed of the island state.
Mark Anthony LeBlanc.
That's him, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm looking for.
I state law, not like court law.
Let me, Mr. Patrick, could you
Yes, sir.
hand that to Mr.
Yes, sir.
LeBlanc?
Okay, so what's going to happen is he's gonna read this to you, so you don't really need to read word for word of this. So just so you have a copy of these standard bond conditions.
Okay, this is cause number 325-867. Case of style of State of Texas versus Mark Anthony LeBlanc. And Mr. LeBlanc, you've just been handed a document that is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. Do you see that title? Okay, I will go over these conditions with you. And it reads, following arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body, and that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly, indirectly with an alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Now, that's a standard condition, but you don't have a victim in this case, the state of Texas. So that one doesn't necessarily apply. Now, condition number 4, a defendant who has been arrested or accused of any subsequent offense listed under section 49.04 through 49.06 of the Texas Penal Code, and your case is listed in that section, and it's a subsequent offense. Penal Code shall not operate any motor vehicle unless the vehicle is equipped with an interlock device mechanism that make impractical the operation of the vehicle if ethyl alcohol is detected in the breath of the operator. And said device shall be installed at the defendant's expense with written verification of such installation being submitted to the court on or before the 10th day. And that should be after today. Let me see your, I need to make a change on that. They said after arrest. That'll be after today.
So any vehicle you're driving in the state of Texas.
Any vehicle that you own or operate must have a interlock device on it. Do you understand that condition? Now, Mr. LeBlanc, if you fail to adhere to these conditions of this bond, your bond can be revoked. And if your bond is revoked, you can be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Now, Mr. LeBlanc, you can provide the proof to your attorney and he'll get it to the court. And your case has been reset. You can get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, does he contact his bonding company to get information on where to get the device put on his vehicle?
I guess, he probably can Google it. They have.
Yeah, I'll send you the number. I'll look the number up and send it to you when I send you the paperwork today. Yeah, I'll send it to you. It'll be today. It'll just take me a couple hours to get back to my office. Okay. Heather Gilmore, who's on your trial.
Mr. Bailiff, would you please get Heather Gilmore? You can come forward, Ms. Gilmore. This is cause number 325-739. Case is style of State of Texas versus Heather Marie Gilmore. Is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Ms. Gilmore?
Hi.
That's good. Oh, and we also have cause number 325-871. And Ms. Gilmore, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Mr. Paget, you have an announcement you'd like to make, Ms. Gilmore?
Stay on the trial docket, Your Honor, is what our intentions are.
Okay, give us a date.
I have not had the opportunity to discuss these with Ms. Maxey. It was somebody else's case last time, but I will.
2/7.
Yes, sir.
And you and I can sit down and.
Reset February 7th, 2021.
That's cool. We'll set up a time to meet with you.
Case is set, reset February 7th, 2022. Yeah. You can get your reset from your attorney, Ms. Gilmore. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
You have a blessed day too.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, I was saying Mr. Galmore.
Yes, sir.
Like I had a note here saying that. I thought you were in trial somewhere. I thought I saw a note saying that you were in orange. Okay, this is cause number 327164. Case of South State of Texas versus Donnie Opie Citizen. Is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Citizen? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Citizen, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Langston Adams. Adams, how you doing? That's good. Mr. Adams, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Citizen's case?
Yeah, we're set.
Oh, I see, yeah. You set today in 252nd.
Yes, I just want to follow the felony because that's.
Have you been down to the 252nd District Court yet? Oh. Okay, so when y'all, if it gets reset, just let us come back and let us know.
Okay.
And then we'll reset it. Okay. Yeah, he can go have a seat back out in the hallway, I guess. Let me do this. Catherine Singleton. Yeah, she's in the hall. This is the announcement docket, page 6 at the top, Catherine Singleton.
It's just.
Just check.
This is cause number 328336, case of Style of State of Texas versus Catherine Singleton. Ms. Singleton, how are you doing? That's good. Now, Ms. Singleton, you're represented in your case by Mr. Terrence Allison. Mr. Allison is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Allison, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Allison, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Ms. Singleton's case?
Not just yet, Judge. I think that we have. One second. I think we have asked for, we're awaiting some information to see if she was admitted for pretrial diversion. I was actually looking it up in my files right now. I can't find it, but we need another recess so we can see if we can make that happen for her.
Let me see. Who's the prosecutor on that?
I have Daniel Boyd in my email.
Mr. Boyd, do you know whether or not she was accepted in the pretrial diversion program or not?
What's the number on this?
336.
And if we have. Judge, I need to check with my staff to see if we've even requested it. I think we have, but just haven't heard back from them. But if we have not, we will be doing so today.
Yes, sir. I don't see any notes in here, Your Honor. That
Okay.
she's been accepted.
Okay, so give us a recap.
We're gonna try to do that, Judge. We'll check on that today, and if we haven't done it, we'll do it.
Okay, give us that. Okay, the case is being reset February 14th of 2022.
Okay. Thank you.
Pretrial diversion. Now, once you get your your reset will be sent to you, Mr. Allison. Ms. Al and Ms. Singleton, you can stand over there on the 4X. You're gonna get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Now, Mr.
Judge,
Allison.
I have one more. Judge, I have a guy named last name Ortiz.
Well, no,
That I have not.
Ortiz is in jail. So
Right.
I don't see that he has a felony case associated with it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see that he has a felony case associated with it. Like he's been in jail for 2 days. Yeah, no, 58, I guess. He might have had a felony. I'm not sure. What you want to do on that one?
I guess I just need to go out there and talk to him and then get back with the court, just reset it.
Well, do you want us to read on our Thursday docket? And if it's a plea, it's to be on the docket. If not, you can get it reset.
Yeah, we can, I just can't do this Thursday.
Okay, next Thursday?
Sure.
Okay, what's that date? November 4th? Okay, it's gonna be reset till next Thursday. This is Alejandro Ortiz is the last person on the announcement docket.
Mhm.
Okay, we're gonna reset it for next Thursday.
Thank you.
2021. This is your last case, so you're free to go. You have a blessed day and your reset will be sent to you.
Thank you, Judge. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Gary Barber. You call Gary Barber. Mr. Adams, it's your cases.
Okay.
Oh, good morning. This is cause numbers 328-358, cause number 329-558, and cause number 330-566. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Gary Christopher Barber. Mr. Barber, is that your full name? That's good. Now, Mr. Barber, you're here. Well, Mr. Barber, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Barber, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Langston Adams. Mr. Adams, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Barber's cases?
Yeah, Judge, if you can give me one final announcement on this when I'm talking to Mr. Barber, I think we might be able to get it settled. So just one final announcement.
Give us a reset date. And a reset.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, Rick. Let me just finish this one. Now. Oh, call 8429.
Gary Barber, page 6, announcement docket, 3 cases. Standard. Okay, Mr. Barber, your case will be reset to December 3rd of 2021. Your attorney will be signing for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think I have 2 more.
Yeah. Okay. We got Donnie's. Okay, Bobby White. Take your hat off.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No response on what? Did you get Mr. Barber's case reset?
Yes, and I think I got three more.
Okay, is he free to go? You gave him his reset?
Let me give it to him.
Okay.
No problem.
Would you please call Catherine Gray and Leonardo Martinez and Tabitha Johnson all on the trial docket?
Oh. That's. Yes. We're in session of cause number 325-311. Case of style of state of Texas versus Kathleen Jacobs Gray. Ms. Gray, is that your full name? Yes, sir.
Okay, how you doing, Ms. Gray? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Gray, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Langston Adams. Who's the prosecutor on this one, Mr. Adams? Is it Mr. Okay, Mr.
We got,
Adams.
we
Oh,
will leave that case on trial back.
I'll leave it on the trial deck. Okay.
And the same thing for Mr. Terrence
Okay.
and Ms. Johnson.
Okay, hold on a minute. Give him a trial date.
It's next February the 7th.
Is what?
February the 7th, right?
2/7/2022.
Mhm.
Ms. Gray,
once you get your reset, your attorney is gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr.
I have Johnson and Perez, they all here.
Okay, Tabitha Johnson. Ms. Johnson, would you come forward? Or you gonna have to, well, she's on the trial, all of them on the trial docket.
Perez, Johnson, and Gray.
You got Martinez too. Martinez Perez.
He's here. Oh,
Are you wanting to, want Ms. Adams to sign?
No, I signed it now. No.
Is it,
I signed.
Tabitha Johnson on page 3? And, you have the same announcement in Ms. Johnson's case?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Johnson? I'm doing fine, thanks. That's Ms. Johnson. Your case has been reset. Your attorney is gonna give you your reset. Once you sign the pad, he's gonna give you a reset and you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay,
And then Perez.
let her do that. Mr. Rogers. Leonardo Martinez Perez. Leonardo Martinez Perez. And it's, this is cause number 327-814. And we have been informed that Mr. Perez speaks Spanish. And we have an interpreter, Ms. Jennifer Araji. Ms. Araji, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to interpret Spanish to English and English to Spanish, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand up. His name is Leonardo Daniel Martinez Perez. Ask him if that's his full name. Daniel Martinez Perez. Okay. Ms. Perez, how are you doing?
Fine.
That's good. Now, Mr. Perez, your attorney, Mr. Adams is resetting your case. And what's that reset date?
2/7.
Tell him his case is being reset to February 7 of 2022.
February 2nd, you said?
February 7th. 'Cause his attorney is gonna give him his reset, and once he give him his reset, he'll be free to go and tell him to have a blessed day. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge.
Okay, you are. We got another.
Oh, okay.
I think it was somebody named Mr. Ledesma. Who is Mr. Ledesma? Mr.
This is a motion to withdraw.
Okay, what about that, Mr. Ledesma? The one for Miss,
Morrison?
yeah,
That was already done. It was a motion to sell, but she's already on it. Wants to reset. I think Mr. Morrison.
well, I don't think he can come before. Miss, go ahead. Why don't you stand over there by We're in session at okay, we're in session in three cases. First case is cause number 321-944. Second case is cause number 326-544. Third case is cause number 330092. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Daniel Henry Young Jr. On cause number 321944, our docket sheet note that he is represented by attorney Dustin Galmore.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And on the other two cases, Mr. Young does not have an attorney representing him. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now, we're in the process of him taking care of that. But as of it stands right this second, that's correct.
Okay, because I see on the second case, it said he was to hire D. Galmore. And the third case said it was not a trial on that's a docket.
I'm not sure about that.
I put that there, Judge, because he's not on the case, but we're gonna separate the cases, so that's just my notes that they didn't ask for a trial setting on this case, but his other case is on the trial setting, so they're with them.
Does he have bond conditions on these cases? I'm not aware.
He should.
Yeah. Could you check? Let's see if he has bond. Somebody check, see if he has bond conditions. See, he has 3 DWIs.
Yes, he does. All present.
Okay, yeah. Okay, he does. Oh, this is old. This is 2020. That was on the first one. She has it on all three cases or just one? Do you know?
Oh, 326-544.
No, he doesn't have any on there.
And what about 330092?
330-092.
Oh, okay. I see the first bond condition is a cause number 321-944. One of his conditions that he was required to attend AA meetings 2 times a week and provide proof. That's been in place since March 4th of 2020. Is that correct? I was just looking at.
Since I've been here with you, Dave, I've never been received any bond conditions. It's been set off the last couple of times we were here. No. Yeah, but I got that A papers. I just went, I came up here and I showed them to you the AMs on the wings and negative.
Oh, you are? Okay, that's good. Let me do this here. I gotta amend these. This 321-944. 326. Okay, could you make a copy? This one, it's gonna be first amended. Thank you. We're gonna give you some amended bond conditions. This is one. Okay, thank you. So. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Young. Mr. I know you can have that. Now, Mr. Young, these are some amended bond conditions. And it's, do you see that first amended standard bond conditions in County Code Law number 2? I just wrote first amended above it. Okay, and it says, it reads, following the arrest and or accusation in County Code Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant hearing on order subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or against the United States. Do you understand that condition? And condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submits to a test for drugs and alcohol and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, A2, and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
You understand?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Now, condition number 3 applies when there's a victim in this case. This is a DWI case, so it doesn't apply here. Now, condition number 4, the defendant who has been arrested or accused of any, and what I did, it says of any offense. We took out a subsequent because you got 3 offenses under section 49.04, 4906 Texas Penal Code shall not operate any motor vehicle unless the vehicle is equipped with an interlock device mechanism that makes it practical to operation of the device if ethyl alcohol is detected in the breath of the operator, and said device shall be installed at the defendant's expense with written verification of such installation being submitted to the court on or before the 10th day after today. Do you understand that condition? And condition number 5, you're just going to continue to attend the AANA meetings 2 times a week and provide proof to the court. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And I think we had some of those sheets. Did they still give you all those sign-up sheets?
They do, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you're violating one of these conditions, the bond can be revoked and you can be placed in Jefferson County Jail. You can get with your attorney so that he can provide proof to the court of the interlock within 10 days. All right. Now, Mr. Galmore, what was your announcement on that, on the first case?
It's still a trial.
And the other 2 cases, he's still in the process of trying to hire you, is that correct? Okay, so these cases gonna get reset and keep it on the trial docket. You can get your reset from your, from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay. Let's go ahead on and do this one. Please.
Judge, may need to bring up one thing as far as these conditions are concerned. Mr. Young is not driving at all. And so I don't believe he'll be installing an interlock device.
Is any vehicle that he own or operate?
Okay, just wanted to bring
Yeah,
that
ben-
attention.
yeah, okay. Okay, Mr. Macon,
Oh, I thought you were calling over.
I said Macon. Oh, yeah, it was column Nix. Thank you. Is that 5-6? Controlled substance. We're in session in 2 cases. First case is cause number 320504. Second case is cause number 320506. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Calum Mickey. Calum. And how you pronounce your middle name?
Calum
McKee. Okay. Calum McKee Nix. How you doing, Mr. Nix? Okay, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Nix, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, do you waive a record in Mr. Nix's case?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Macon, and cause number, Mr. Nix, and cause number 320506, you're charged by information, or you have alleged to have committed
Your Honor, that case is to be dismissed.
5-6?
Yes.
I got the.
Oh, wait, no,
discovery.
wait, I'm wrong.
Oh,
5-4.
okay. Mr. Nix, I have an information before me that alleges that on or about February 8th of 2018, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance. Mr. Nix, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Nix, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Indeed.
All right. Now, Mr. Nix, I have before me another document. This other document is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Mr. Macon. You had checked off a B. It's
Oh,
a,
I'm
it's a
sorry.
Class A.
It's Monday, hey.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not doing too good.
Okay, now, Mr. Nix, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Mr. Nix, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And on page 2 of this same document, Mr. Nix, are these your initials and your attorney's initials on the line next to a box that's checked guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on page 3 of this same document, is that your signature above the line that titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document, Mr. Nix, that's titled Trial Court Certification Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nix, I also have before me a document that is, I don't think I swore him in.
No.
Okay, Mr. Nix, do you, please raise your right hand. Mr. Nix, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you may put your hand down, so let me do this all over. Now, Mr. Nix, I have before me an information that is alleges that on or about February 8 of 2018, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of controlled substance. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty. Yeah.
Now, and are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments, also labeled States Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box says check guilty. Are these your initials and your attorney's initials? And on page 3, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
There are 2 boxes checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up the right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And I have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
I do, Your Honor.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, it is.
Now, Mr. Nix, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, he did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor. No objection, States 1, Your Honor.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Macon, you've advised and counseled Mr. Nix. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nix, your attorney, Mr. Macon, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am satisfied, yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Nix, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's 6 months deferred adjudication. $500 fine. 30 hours community service. And also, cause number 320504 will be dismissed in consideration for the plea in this case.
Mr. Nix, the state is offering that you serve 6 months of deferred adjudication probation. Now, during this 6-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $392, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $892. You'll also be required to reimburse the crime lab $100. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Now, your total monthly installments is $255 each month. Mr. Nix, will you be able to pay the $255 each month?
I will, yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Nix, you will also be required to perform 30 hours of community service, and you'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. And cause number 320504 will be dismissed as part of this plea bargain agreement. Mr. Nix, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir. Fully.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Mr. Nix, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Nix, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. And you can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Nix, please stand on the X next to your attorney. You're going to follow the directions of our clerk. And once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And I'm signing the dismissal. You should get that in a few seconds.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so much for your generosity.
You're welcome.
Can I go ahead and get your right thumb print? On that blue light? Thank you. Mr. Nix, can I go ahead and get your signature on that signature pad located in front of you?
And that dismissal is being printed off.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And then Mr. Macon, can I get your signature, please? Next, raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that you've never before been given deferred adjudication or regular probation? Yes. No? On misdemeanor?
I've never,
And you have no pending charges that you're aware of?
no,
And do you have a form of valid identification on you? No? No. So he has 2 cash funds that are ready to be refunded to him. He isn't able to receive them if he doesn't have a form of identification on him. So can I get these to you?
Your Honor, I've
And
got
if you
some
want-
plea paperwork. They said it was ready quite a while.
Yeah, but he has several pleas.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
This is your paperwork, Mr. Nix. You're gonna report to this address on this front page as soon as you leave here.
Monroe Powell. We're in session in cause number 320754-2. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Monroe Stanley Powell.
Yes.
Mr. Powell, is that your full name?
yes,
Mr. Powell, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Your Honor.
That's good. Mr. Powell, oh, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Powell, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Powell, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Mr. Macon, do you waive a record in Mr. Powell's case?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Powell, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about February 17th of 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of marijuana. Mr. Powell, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Powell, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
Guilty? Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Powell, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Powell, there's a set of initials on a line next to box that said guilty, and it's also next to your attorney's initials. Are these your initials on this document? Are these your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant? There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Paul, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Macon, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes,
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State I have before me states exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer states 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection, states one.
No objection. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Macon, you advise and counsel Mr. Powell. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Your Honor, he tells me as soon as this is over, he wants to join the army, so I question his mental competence. Other than that, no.
Okay. Mr. Powell, your attorney, Mr. Macon, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Powell, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that you plead guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement, Mr.
6
Powell?
months deferred adjudication,
Okay,
$200 fine,
okay.
and 20 hours community service.
Okay, Mr. Powell, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6 months deferred adjudicated probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $200 plus court costs of $392, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $592. You'll also be required to reimburse the crime lab $100, and you'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and your total monthly installment for this case will be $195. Would you be able to pay the $195 each month?
Yes, sir.
And you will be required to perform 20 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Now, Mr. Powell, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Powell, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Powell, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear in your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. Macon, about non-disclosure because he's quite competent in these matters. Mr. Powell, would you please stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Hold on a minute. You have Anthony Fowler.
Can I get your signature on that signature pad located in front of you? Okay, Mr. Mason, can I get your signature? And now, Mr. Powell, can I have you raise your right hand? Never before been given deferred adjudication or regular probation for a felony or misdemeanor in this or any other state. And you have no pending charge that you're aware of. And do you have a valid form of identification on you? Like a passport or a driver's license?
I do.
Can you do the same thing? Mr. Powell, you're just gonna take this. I attached a copy of the map. So they can have that map, and they'll tell you how to get there, and you'll see for what it is.
So, let me see if I can.
Yeah, you have to talk to the probation officer when you get to the probation officer.
Oh,
Yes, yes, something that they put there. Okay, we're in session and cause number 322934. Case is style of state of Texas versus Anthony Earl Fowler. We have Mr. Fowler appearing in court. Mr. Fowler, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Fowler, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, sir.
Mr. Fowler, you may put your hand down. Mr. Fowler, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Macon. Mr. Macon, do you waive a record in Mr. Fowler's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Fowler, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about March 17th of 2017, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed to class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Fowler, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Fowler, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, Mr. Fowler, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fowler, I also have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Yeah, yeah, Class A misdemeanor. Yes.
I never can get this right.
Mr. Fowler, I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Mr. Fowler, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Fowler, this document states that this offense is a Class A misdemeanor. The range of punishment is confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 1 year, fine not to exceed $4,000, or both such confinement and fine. Do you understand that range of punishment? On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Fowler, there are 2 sets of initials on a line next to a box that says check guilty. Are these your initials, AF?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal, Mr. Fowler, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that checks states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Fowler, I also have before me a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Fowler, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Macon, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
No
Any
objection to
objections?
State's 1, Your Honor.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Macon, you've advised and counseled Mr. Fowler, is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
Mr. Fowler, your attorney, Mr. Macon, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your
Mr. Fowler, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that you plead guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
It's 180 days jail, probated over 1 year,
Okay,
$1,000 fine,
okay,
80 hours community service,
okay,
DWI education course,
okay,
drug and alcohol assessment.
okay. You said drug
Conditions
and-
are a lot.
Mr. Fowler, state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any time in jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During that 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 and court costs of $407, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,407. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a year analysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125. And should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments that you would have to pay each month is $205. Mr. Fowler, will you be able to pay the $205 each month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Fowler, you will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI education class, and have a drug and alcohol assessment. You'll be required. What is DWI intervention came from? I don't see that in the, you didn't say that. When you
Isn't it a normal condition?
well, it's on here, but he didn't say it. So is it gonna be the DWI intervention too? Because she has it on the I think what she did, she typed what was on the plea agreement form.
It's just the DWI education, the drug and alcohol assessment, and the ignition.
Okay, so that has to be, here you go. You can take off the intervention.
So do I need to change it?
Yeah, you gotta take that off. Here you go, Mr. Boyd.
And this is valid?
Yes. Here you go, Mr. Boyd. You can, so no, I saw it on here, but I didn't hear it when he said this. I was like, oops, wrong one. Okay, now, Mr. Let's see. Now, you're required to perform 80 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend a DWI education class and have a drug and alcohol assessment. And you'll be required to install a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that on any vehicle that you own or operate. And you'll also be required to perform the standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Fowler, do you understand that the state's offer?
Yes.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Fowler, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Fowler, please stand on the X next to your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
It'll take me like a second, 1 minute, if y'all wanted to stay here.
Wait, I'm going long one.
I'm still working on that, but if you want to work on the next, please.
Okay, Suzanne Marie Longren.
And we're taking off the intermission.
Yeah, yes. We're in session in cause number 325452. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Suzanne Marie Longren. Ms. Longren, is that your full name?
Yes.
Ms. Longren, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Longren, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Longer, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Longer?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Longer. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, do you waive a record in Ms. Longer's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Ms. Longer, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about November 19th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Ms. Longer, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Longer, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I'm guilty.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are actually guilty?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Longer, I also have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishment, also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Ms. Longer, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, Ms. Longer, there's a set of initials, there's 2 sets of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Ms. Longer, the first set of initials, are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
And on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature? And on the next document, which is the trial court certification of the defendant's right of appeal, Ms. Longer, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box check states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? I also have before me, Ms. Longer, a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Longer, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
We have no objection to State's 1, Your Honor.
No objection, State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Now, Mr. Macon, you've advised and counseled Ms. Longer. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Longer, your attorney, Mr. Macon, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Here you go.
Well, just, do you have their,
Mr. Lane, could you put your mic on mute? Okay, thank you. Okay, Now, Ms. Longren, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
The 1 year deferred adjudication. $500 fine. 60 hours community service. DWI education course. Drug and alcohol assessment. And the admission.
Okay, now, Ms. Longer, the state, let me do this here now. Let's see, this offense occurred after, okay, it's after September 1 of 2019. Does she have a commercial driver's license or a regular driver's license?
Regular drive.
Okay, and what was her, did they do a BAC in this case?
They did, Your Honor. It was fairly low. I don't remember.
Let's see.
It's not an enhanced.
Your Honor, it was 0.149.
Okay, so it's below 0.150. Okay. Okay, now, Ms. Longer, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $392, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $892. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You will also be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Ms. Longer, will you be able to pay, now your total monthly installments for this case will be $160 per month. Will you be able to pay the $160 per month?
Yes, sir.
And you'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, attend a DWI education class, and have a drug and alcohol assessment. The DWI intervention is on here too. Did you say that?
No.
No, Your Honor.
No, it's on the tab.
Okay. Okay, let me, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Somebody take it off.
Hmm?
Somebody take it off.
Yes. Okay. Now, let me do this here now. Okay, you'll be required to perform 60 hours of community service, attend a DWI education class, and have a drug and alcohol assessment. And you'll be required to install a DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Ms. Longer, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay. The court is going to find that it's in the best interest to place, to defer finding of guilt in this case and place the defendant, Ms. Longer, on probation. Defer the probation for 1 year as it is in the plea bargain agreement. And pursuant to Article 42.A, point 108, the court hereby admonishes you that on violation of a condition of deferred adjudication, community supervision imposed under Section 42A, 104, the defendant may be arrested and detained as provided in Article 42A, point 751. You'll be entitled to a hearing limited to determination by the court of whether the court will proceed with an adjudication of guilt on the original charge, and the court may not proceed with an adjudication of guilt on the original charge if the court finds that the only evidence supporting the alleged violation of a condition of deferred adjudication, community supervision, is the uncorroborated results of a polygraph exam. The determination to proceed with an adjudication of guilt on the original charge is reviewable in the same manner as a revocation hearing conducted under Article 42A, point 751D, in the case in which the adjudication of guilt was not deferred. Now, Ms. Longer, also pursuant to 42A 110, after adjudication of guilt, all proceeding, including assessment of punishment, pronouncement of sentence, granted a community supervision of, and your right to appeal continues as if adjudication of guilt had not been deferred. Now, if you successfully complete the probationary period, your case will be dismissed, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. And you can talk to your attorney about non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Please stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Matthew Chase.
Yeah, I know, Matthew Logan Chance. Yeah, I was waiting to.
And now, Mr. Macon, can I get your signature? Raise your right hand for me. Please swear that you have been given deferred adjudication or regular probation for a felony or misdemeanor. And have you ever been given probation, deferred, or straight, and you have no pending charges that you're aware of? All right, so you're just gonna report to this address as soon as you leave here today.
Thank you. This is cause number 323798. And the case is styled, the state of Texas versus Matthew Logan Chance. Mr. Chance, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chance, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Chance, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chance, you may put your hand down. Mr. Chance, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. James Macon. Mr. Macon, do you waive a record in Mr. Chance's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chance, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about June 14th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, it's June 14th. I was just looking at the date of the offense and the plea bargain agreement. Is you asking for deferred?
Correct, Your Honor.
I think the offense has to occur on or after September 1 of 2019. This was before September 1, June 14 of 2019.
You're correct, Your Honor. Can we have a week to get a new offer on
You want to reset it? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna reset this. Reset it for a week. Yes.
that? Will he be released, Your Honor?
Yes, you can get your, once, your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Your Honor, I do have a Matthew Mackey on the trial docket.
Mr. Mackey,
He's outside.
once you get Matthew Mackey, just give us reset it a week.
You talking to me, Judge?
Yes, you have a chance.
11.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so 11-1.
798 for Matthew Williams.
I'm gonna take it off the front.
Which one?
Change.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be a plea.
okay, this is cause number 325446. Case is style, the state of Texas versus Michael Cardin Mackey, or Mackey, okay. How you, Mr. Mackey, how are you doing?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Mackey, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. James Mackey. Mr. Mackey, do you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Mackey's
It's
case?
still a trial, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll keep it on the trial docket. Give us a trial date. 2/7, okay. It's gonna be reset to February 7 of 2022. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Mackey, if you can sign your reset.
Your Honor.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Thank God, hold on a minute. Now, we got Mr. I got Mr. Brian Lane. Been on Zoom.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I had a young man named Marcus Adams.
Marcus Adams, would you get Marcus Adams?
He was on the trial docket, Your Honor.
Yes, I see it.
We're respectfully requesting that that stay on the trial docket, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm giving him yes. Oh, no.
Mr. Adams, this is cause number 327911, State of Texas versus Marcus Wade Adams. How you doing, Mr. Adams? That's good. Mr. Adams, your attorney, Mr. Brian Lane, is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Lane, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor. Thank you.
What's your announcement?
A trial, Your Honor.
Okay. This is Marcus Adams. He's on the trial docket page 2. You can get your stand over there. You're gonna get your reset. You're gonna stand in front of our court coordinator. She on the far X. She's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. This is Terrence.
Your Honor, thank you very much.
Okay, and your reset will be sent to you. Mr. Lane, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Mr. We in session in three cases. Two cases. First case is cause number 327664, and the second case is cause number 328916. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Jacody Garden Moore. Is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Moore? That's good. Mr. Moore, in cause number 327664, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about June 1st of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon while engaging in criminal activities. Mr. Moore, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Moore, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Moore, I have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Mr. Moore, do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Moore, there's a set of initials on a line that is titled guilty. Are these your initials on this document? Having some computer problems now. Reboot it. What? I didn't swear. Let's see if it works this time. It's still saying ended. Man. I don't know what's going on. That's some crazy stuff. Hmm.
way through. you know,
Yeah, I know.
expedite that and everything.
I know. Mr. Moore, this is cause number 327-664. You also have cause number 328-916. And both cases are styled State of Texas versus Jacody Gordon Moore. Mr. Moore, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Moore, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? You may put your hand down. And Mr. Paget, are you waiving the record of Mr. Moore's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Moore, in cause number 327-664, you previously pled guilty, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And now I have before me a document that is titled "The Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment." Mr. Moore, you recognize this document? And on page 2 of this same document, Mr. Moore, are these your initials above the line or next to the line that's titled guilty? And on the next page of the same document, Mr. Moore, is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Moore, on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that? Now, Mr. Moore, I also have before me a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Mr. Moore, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Moore, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objections to State's 1, Your Honor.
No objection, State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Patrick, you're advising counsel, Mr. Moore, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Moore, your attorney, Mr. Patrick, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moore, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I'll also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is for 1 year deferred probation, $500 fine, 40 hours community service, forfeiture of the weapon in this case, and also case number 328916. And I've provided the court with 2 motions to forfeit. And also the state is dismissing cause number 328916.
That is your understanding.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Moore, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation in cause number 327-664. And during this 1 year deferred adjudicated probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $292, which comes to a total of $792. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and you'll be required to pay in monthly installments your probation. You'll be required to pay $150 in monthly installments. Mr. Moore, will you be able to pay the $150 each month?
He will be able to, Your Honor. The situation is, he is currently being supervised on felony probation. One of these unlawful carrying of a weapon cases came out of the same transaction, so there wouldn't be another supervisory fee. And he's only paying
Right.
half.
So basically, even though it says that you have, it's $150 per month, it's gonna be reduced by $60 because you're currently on probation and you're paying a supervision fee. So it'll go down to $90 per month.
I just didn't want to muddy the water, so
Right.
they'll figure it out.
Right, yeah, the probation officer will figure it out. Now, will you be able to pay the probation fees? And, well, would you be able to pay the monthly installments? That's what I'm asking.
He's
Now,
fully employed, Your Honor, and has been for some time.
okay. Now, Mr. Moore, you'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. And also in this case, I have a motion to,
Two motions to forfeit.
Yes.
One motion to
okay, in cause number 327-664, I have a motion to forfeit the weapon. And in cause number 328-916, I have a motion to forfeit. Now, Mr. Moore, do you recognize both of these motions? Now, is that your signature on the line that's titled Defendant on each one of these motions? Now, prior to signing these motions, did your attorney go over these motions with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these motions?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these motions true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moore, I will grant the motions to forfeit in both of these cases as part of the plea bargain agreement. And so, Mr. Moore, I'll just go over the plea bargain agreement again. The state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year deferred adjudication probation period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $292, which comes to a total of $792. You'll be your probation fee of $60 each month. You will not be required to pay that because you're already on probation. However, you will be required to pay a year analysis fee of $15 each month. So your monthly installments, once the probation office realizes that you're on probation, will, instead of being $150 per month, it'll be $90 per month. You'll also be required to perform 40 hours community service. Both cases in cause, your weapons will be forfeited in cause number 327-664 and cause number 328-916 and cause number 328-916 will be dismissed as part of this plea bargain, and you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Moore, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moore, I'll follow the plea agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Moore, I have to read to you an admonishment. Mr. Patrick, could you give this to your client? Now, Mr. Moore, in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you or warns you of the following. Number one, you are, by entry of order or judgment, ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code, Section 46.013, a firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have an integral part, a folding knife blade, or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is, one, an antique curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Order 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection, Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, notice of persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code, Section 46.01, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code, Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code, Section 25.05, a violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond and family violence, child abuse and neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Moore, you can keep that for your copy or for your records. This will conclude your case. Now, Mr. Moore, if you successfully complete the probationary period, in this case, your case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. So the court is deferring a finding of guilt and placing you on deferred adjudicated probation. Mr. Moore, please stand on the X next to your attorney. You're going to follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Oh, here you go. You can close it out. Mr. Paget, is that your last case? Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
She'll tell you when to sign on the gold line.
We in session and cause number 3269, excuse me, this record, it's cause number 326294. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Anthony Mater. Mr. Mater, is that your full name?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Mater, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Mater, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Mater, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Mater? Oh, that's good. Now, Mr. Mater, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Antoine Freeman. Mr. Freeman, how are you doing? That's good. Mr. Freeman, do you waive a record in Mr. Mater's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mater, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about March 2nd of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the class a misdemeanor offense of evading arrest detention. Mr. Mater, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Mater, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, Mr. Mater, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
It is, Your Honor.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mater. Get into it.
I have it for 11:15. Do you want me to set this to 11:15?
Mr. Mater.
Yes, sir.
I have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. Mr. Mater, do you recognize this document?
I do.
Mr. Mater, on page 2 of this same document, are these your initials on the line that's titled no contingere, which means no contest?
It is.
And on page 3 of this same document, is that your signature above the line that is titled defendant?
Yes.
And on the next document, which is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document? Is that your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Mr. Mater, I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
I do.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
It is.
Mr. Mater, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
He did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer states 1?
Yes, Your Honor. Also like to offer states 2, the probable cause affidavit.
Any objections? No objections. States exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Antoine, you advising counsel, Mr. Mater. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mater, your attorney, Mr. Freeman, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir. He did.
Okay, Mr. Mater, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial, and I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is for 1 year deferred probation, a $750 fine, and 60 hours community service.
Mr. Mater, bless you. Okay, Mr. Mater, I have before me, well, actually, Mr. Mater, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year deferred adjudicated probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs. Now, the total fine and court costs is $1,037. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, your analysis fee of $15 each month. Now, the total amount of that you will be required to pay in monthly installments is $170 per month. Mr. Mater, will you be able to pay the $170 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. And you'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Mater, do you understand the state's offer?
I do, Your Honor.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Okay, now, Mr. Mater, if you successfully complete the deferred probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear in your record as a conviction. And you may qualify for non-disclosure. That's because the court is deferring a finding of guilt on your probation. Now, if you need to get any information about the non-disclosure, you can talk to your attorney, Mr. Freeman. He's quite competent on those matters. Now, Mr. Mater, Would you please stand on the X next to your attorney? You're gonna follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.